It's been a long time, over a year in fact, since my last Spurs offensive breakdown, but the Spurs offense is the topic of the video today as I go through a few of their early season games and show you what they're doing. LaMarcus Aldridge is new, and they still run some of their old good stuff. Also, real quick, make sure to follow me on Twitter because I provide some NBA observations every once in a while, so make sure to give me a follow, link will be in the description. And now, let's get to the Spurs. They love to run motion strong to get into their offense, and this is nothing new. They'll swing the ball across twice and set a double staggered screen for the man in the corner, and here Rudy Gay overhelped, popping out high, which leaves the roll open. Nice pass, and it's a layup. You can tell an emphasis has been placed on getting the ball to Aldridge while they're swinging the ball for a duck-in and an early post-up, and this is pretty effective, and here Aldridge draws a foul, getting it in good post position. Here they try to get it to him, but David West throws a bad pass and it's a turnover. They also run motion weak, which is screen the screener action, but here Leonard sets a very poor cross screen, Patty Mills forces it inside anyway, and it's a turnover. Usually in this play, after Aldridge swings it on top, he waits to set a down screen for Leonard, but here he goes and sets a ball screen for Parker, and all this movement creates a lane, scrambles the defense, and Tim Duncan gets the putback. The Spurs also run the very common NBA play floppy, which involves numerous pin downs, but I don't love how they run it because the secondary action, if a shot isn't available, is just to go to Aldridge on an isolation post up without any great weak side action, and this can often result in fadeaway jumpers. So I don't love their secondary action off of this, but to be fair to Pop, there's a good chance he's saving his best secondary action for the playoffs, so it can't be scouted now. Here's the loop play, which starts with a zipper cut to the top, and the point guard, here Patty Mills, will receive 3 straight screens around the world looking for a shot, but notice how well they flow into a pick and roll right after, and you'll see they eventually get a middle drive for Danny Green, who finds David West for an open jumper. Watch here how Mills will run this play and fake like he's going around the world, but come back on the same side, and he hits an open 3. A fantastic variation here. Instead of passing it to Mills coming around the last screen, they'll reverse it and then set up the hammer screen for Mills to get a corner 3 as Boris Diaw throws a great baseline pass. Wide open shot, great play. They also run the high pick and roll out of horns, and this play works because you have Aldridge and West at the high post, and either one of them can roll to the basket or pop. Here Aldridge will pop, and notice how that draws DeMarcus Cousins out, leaving West open on the roll, who then kicks it out to find Danny Green. This time they'll run it with West and Diaw, and West will pop, and the opposing defenses have to respect that jumper, so they rotate and give up an open corner shot. I like this set. They'll get it to Duncan near the top of the key, and then there will be 2 pin downs. And one of the pin downs is for Ginobili to get going toward his left hand, so Duncan executes a dribble handoff with Ginobili, and here Solinger will bump Duncan, taking away that pass, which leaves Aldridge open for a jumper, and notice how Duncan will screen Solinger, great pass by Ginobili, and Aldridge gets an open jumper. They're definitely using Aldridge in different sets, and here Parker will UCLA cut off Duncan, they'll get it to Duncan, and then Aldridge will duck in from the weak side. This next set is a great use of personnel. They'll use Aldridge as a screener for Leonard, and that can open up a backdoor pass or an alley-oop. Anyway, on this play it gets a switch, so Aldridge can seal Jay Crowder inside and hit an easy in-close shot. You can see how Aldridge screening first can open up great inside opportunities for him, and here he draws a foul. Let's talk about one of the Spurs' rules in their offense, which is on any pass to the corner, the passer will cut through, and the center will set an inside ball screen for the guard, and here Duncan gets it but misses. Again, you see this rule in place. So they're running motion strong here, but instead of setting his end of the double staggered screen, Mills will simply sprint to the corner, and then you'll see they'll execute the corner action as Ginobili cuts through, and here Mills doesn't even wait for the screen and he drives and finds Aldridge. But this isn't an unstoppable option by any means. Here the Celtics simply play ice against it, and they'll give up this mid-range jumper to Duncan. So the Spurs have been running a lot of post ISOs for Aldridge and early in the shot clock as their first option. and I don't necessarily mind this that much, but I prefer to see these type of isolations with 8 or 7 seconds on the shot clock when other options in the offense have already been explored. And he does take a lot of mid-range fadeaway jumpers, which really aren't all that efficient, and it's not Spursy, but of course he'll have moments like this where he silences critics like myself. Now let's talk about the Spurs sideline out of bounds plays, because they have quite a few and this keeps the defenses off balance. Here is a very simple set where they zipper cut into a screen and roll and West hits a jumper. Here they'll get right into screen the screener action, and even though they don't get a shot immediately, this causes switches all over the floor and Kawhi can duck in and finish over the smaller Westbrook. This time they'll inbound it right into a double stagger drag screen for Tony Parker and he can hit a jumper. Again, they'll get into a double drag screen, but notice how they disguise the play into a different setup, though it's well defended here and David West picks up a charging foul. Here they'll get right into floppy out of a sideline out of bounds, and instead of that stagnant Aldridge ISO after there is no immediate shot, notice how they'll flow into a pick and roll which frees up Aldridge for the catch and shoot shot. And right here's a very simple baseline out of bounds play where they get right into a middle pick and roll and Danny Green can hit a floater. And nice screen the screener action for Aldridge here, getting him an open jumper. But it's not the set plays that makes the Spurs offense so difficult to guard, it's the movement, spacing, and unselfishness. And let's start with post passing. Here West gets doubled, so he immediately gets rid of it and the Spurs move it well and get an open corner 3. Notice the great spacing on this DL post-up and he can find West for the layup. Watch how patient DL is once he gets it inside, looking for a pass, and there's Ginobili moving great without the ball as he hits an open shot. Notice when Isaiah Thomas stunts slightly at Aldridge, Mills will sprint to an open spot and get an open 3. Leonard this time will cut off of Aldridge when he enters it and get it back for a layup. This can be very tough to stop when run correctly, and here Leonard does it again for an open jumper. Let's talk more about cutting, and maybe no one is a better cutter than Patty Mills. He has such a great feel for getting to the right spot and he always cuts hard because you never know when you can receive a good pass for a layup. And watch Kawhi in the corner this time as no one is really on him, so he goes right to the open spot and hits a jumper in the lane. So watch Parker on this play. He'll pass it to Aldridge in the post, then cut through, giving Aldridge more spacing. When the pass goes out and Ginobili's drive stalls in the middle, notice how every single defender is pretty much staring at the ball. So there's Parker backdoor cutting for the layup. Same scenario here as DL is working the middle, so there's Danny Green taking advantage of all the eyes going to DL. Well, there you have it, guys. Aldridge will continue to get a better feel for the Spurs offense, and they'll be a contender come playoff time. Also, I will be announcing a new series on this channel soon, so stay tuned for that, and I'm excited for it. Let me just put it this way. If I have enough time to do all the videos, it'll involve every NBA team. Well, thanks for watching and see you next time.